Somebody actually, I remember them asking a little while ago, what would you say to somebody who is really depressed and feeling down and even suicidal? What would you say to them if you had one thing to say?
Well, that's kind of a broad question because, different people could be depressed or suicidal for different reasons, okay? Sometimes it's a spiritual problem, but sometimes it's a physical problem. It could really be both. So, if someone has the spiritual problem, then I'm going to give them the spiritual remedy of telling them, hey, get the emphasis off yourself, get in church, get out soul winning, focus on the things of God. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. And because you'll find that people often are self-centered, and that's when they become down and depressed. That serving other people, helping other people, doing things for others really lifts your spirits, okay? But that being said, depression and suicidal tendencies are not always a spiritual problem. They could often be a physical problem. And you know what I've noticed about a lot of people that commit suicide or are depressed and down all the time is that a lot of times they're men who don't have a job, they're not getting any exercise, and they don't have a wife. So, this is depressing. Why? Because, we need endorphins. There's a physical component here of, if I go out and work really hard at my job and do like physical hard labor, my body's going to release endorphins, which are like a feel-good chemical that are going to lift my spirits. We're talking from the physical side now, okay? If I go out and exercise really hard, if I went on a bicycle ride today. I just got a new bike for my birthday. So I went out on a bicycle ride today. It was super hot outside. I don't know how hot it was, but what was it, like 110 or something?
It was really hot.
Do you want to Google it, how hot it was?
Yeah.
It was some insane temperature, and I biked like 20 miles through the city. At one point, I had to dip myself in the filthy Tempe Town lake that's not suitable for human beings to swim in, just as a survival tactic.
It says it was 102, but it felt much hotter
Yeah,
than that.
it didn't feel like 102. It must have been humid or something.
Yeah.
Because it was a scorcher.
My car said 110, but
Yeah, it felt extremely hot. And I was biking out there, and I had to dip in a filthy water just because I was so hot, and I just didn't want to die. So, but I'll tell you what, it just put me in such a great mood. Like when I got home and I got in the air conditioner, I was really jovial. I was happy. I was in a good mood. I was being really productive at work. Because when you exercise like that, you release endorphins. When you work, you release endorphins. If you lift weights or run or swim or whatever you do for exercise, it releases endorphins that make you feel good, okay? And when you have a relationship with your wife, the physical relationship, that makes you feel good. That releases endorphins. That puts you in a good mood. And so the bottom line is that, you have these people who just lock themselves indoors all day, and they're just hanging on the computer or watching TV or sitting around. They're not doing anything. And it's like you wonder why you're depressed. You're not getting any endorphins. You're not working to get endorphins, and you're not exercising. I mean, so I think there's a practical advice besides just telling people, hey, read your Bible, go to church, go soul winning, pray unto the Lord, sing hymns. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. I mean, I agree with all that advice, but sometimes we need to address the physical component of our modern society. The reason so many people are depressed is because modern society has people sitting on their butts all day. Get up and move around, get out and do stuff, go for a walk, go do some heavy lifting, and you're going to be in a better mood.